Hello, I'm here at Embedded World 2024 and I'm pleased again to be joined by Jason Kridner and Rob Nelson from DigiKey and BeagleBoard. I'm sure you've seen plenty of our videos that we've done over the last couple of years, but today we are going to have an update on the BeaglePlay, which we spoke about last year, and the BeagleConnect as well. So, as I said, we spoke about the BeaglePlay last year, but I understand that development has progressed since then, which is good to hear. So just as a refresh, perhaps tell us a little bit about what the BeaglePlay is to start off with.
So BeaglePlay and BeagleConnect Freedom somewhat exists as an accessory to BeaglePlay from our perspective, although it can be certainly used without. But BeaglePlay really is a simplified Linux computer for doing embedded things, but maybe for people who aren't that deep into embedded, right? Instead of having lots and lots of pin headers on it, right? Everything is just pluggable, right? So it's for those people who might be intimidated by wiring things up, but still want an expandable embedded system where they can do lots of different sensing and control things. So we work with hundreds of the microbus out-on boards, the clicks from Microelectronica, and we've continued to progress with the IDs going into the click, so there's more and more boards that you just plug them in, power on the board. You do still need to do things in that order. So a lot of people are that new to electronics that they don't know that. Yeah. But yes, do plug it in before powering it on. Do plug the bat on board, and then it just comes up and the software is already grabbing the sensor data, right? And that's for oxygen, for GPSs, for just hundreds of different sensors that just work without having to do any additional programming. So I think that's kind of what BeaglePlay is. I really love it just because it allows me to introduce people to Linux computers and embedded without them needing to know a whole lot about working with embedded devices.
Yeah. What's cool about the news just posted, I think it was RFC 3 or 4 from Manesh, just a week ago again. It still needs a lot more reviews, a lot more look at, so we're still trying to push that main line, the concept to plug in, especially on the kernel side.
Yeah, we're trying to make sure that everything that you experience on there is supported through upstream tools, right? So upstream in Linux and upstream in Zephyr. And that means that it's going to be supported for decades and forever down the road, because it's just part of the common source space. So if you've been around Beagle before, you'll know how important upstream software support is for us.
So a lot of work's gone into it over the last 12 months then.
Yeah, the big one, especially thanks to Vishan on that, is U-Boot is now mainline. So we've switched over on both the Play and the Beagle AI. We're using pure U-Boot mainline. Although in the Play there are 5 patches for Wi-Fi, but yeah, it's mainline. Yeah. The Zephyr stuff is
mainline now. So you have mainline. So for bare metal programming, for those people that want to do that, they can still do that with the high level operating. Is Zephyr a high level operating system? I don't know, but
it's real-time OS.
It's a real-time OS, right? But you can still have like a POSIX programming environment, but you can also make really, really, really tiny binaries. So you could choose to run a single application on BeaglePlay using Zephyr, and have hard real-time control with it.
How vibrant is the community around BeaglePlay?
It's pretty good.
There are some things that, so because some of the other boards we haven't released yet, they look at the Play and they want to do that with that. So people are hacking up the micro header and trying to make other adapters. Like, there's another board coming. Just wait. Yeah.
So we see a lot of people doing like different reference designs with it. We see at the TI booth, you'll see the YSUN gateway. So they've got like a really easy where you just load the firmware on it's just really easy. You just load the code and you now have a YSUN gateway without having to do any extra hardware, because the hardware for these different network interfaces is already built in.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of
there's so many different sort of consumer, industrial, like different networking, wireless networking protocols that it supports, with just software updates. We're seeing a lot of people kind of play with those. We're starting to see a little bit more going on with the single pair Ethernet on there as well. So it's a really fun and easy to use gateway. And I just run the vanilla Linux kernel now, right? So I don't even run any of our kernels. I just take kernels from Linux and go.
Yeah, because the mainline status is pretty good. I know one of the fun things that just happened was Mesa got imagination support. So right now with a mainline kernel, you could actually run some of the Vulkan tools. So I know it's been a long time coming. We don't have full OpenGL yet, but Vulkan 1.0.
One of my favorite developments has been the embedded Linux training coming from the Bootland folks. So they provide an open source training for somebody who doesn't really know anything about embedded Linux.
Okay.
And it will dive you very deep, but it takes you step by step. And it's fully open source. You can get all of the labs, all of the slides, all the speaker notes for free, just downloading it off of their website.
Yep.
They do offer professional training. You even see them going now and training engineers at TI, how to develop with embedded Linux, right?
Yeah, their training is really number one. There's a lot of community people that use their trainings in the past, and they love it. So while everything's free, go to their trainings. Yeah. Enjoy it.
So what can we expect in the next 12 months then?
There's a lot more still going into upstreaming of the Gray Bus framework to work more seamlessly with the BeagleConnect Freedom. So we're seeing there's now Arduino support and MicroPython support for the BeagleConnect Freedom, but more integration between the BeaglePlay and the BeagleConnect Freedom to use some of those software frameworks, including the Gray Bus one that makes it where the BeagleConnect Freedom peripherals look like they're directly on the BeaglePlay. More kind of fully vertically integrated IoT solutions.
Yeah.
We've done, I guess we can't talk about some of the specifics of those, but it's just going to get easier and easier for people to build wireless sensor networks using BeaglePlay and BeagleConnect Freedom.
Yeah, fantastic. And are there any sort of recommended accessories or additional components that you'd recommend new users, use alongside this?
They should really check out the docs.beagleboard.org site and look at some of the supported clickboards from Microelectronica. You can have a whole lot of fun if you want to make a weather station. It's like, maybe it's too easy. It gets boring, right? It's not enough of a challenge.
Well, last time I checked, there was over 1,600 micro boards. So if anyone wants to help write drivers, because one of the nice features they've added the Click ID support, so we can read what Click's plugged in.
Yeah, right now we're up to supporting about 250 of them.
Yep, out of the box.
So how easy is it then for someone new to, say, the IoT to get started with sort of the BeagleConnect Freedom, for example?
Yeah, with BeagleConnect Freedom, I think the easiest way for them to get started is with some of the MicroPython stuff right now. And so the MicroPython there is running on top of Zephyr, so you have access. So you could either directly write drivers in Zephyr and use those within the MicroPython framework and do the networking, or they can just use like MicroPython code for the drivers to get access to those sensors today.
Mm-hmm. Anything sort of new or any updates planned for the BeagleConnect Freedom?
Just more software updates, right? So more software, more documentation.
Yep.
Yeah. So we've got a lot of fun projects planned that people can execute with them, right? That we're gonna be writing up. But no new hardware. You can buy the hardware today, and more fun things you can do with it are coming tomorrow.
Okay. Well, you certainly like to keep yourselves busy anyway, don't you?
We managed to do that.
Just a little bit, probably.
Brilliant. Okay, before we wrap up then, is there anything else that you wanted to add? Any thoughts before we finish?
I certainly appreciate your time and your questions.
Yeah, no, it's always a pleasure to have you both. I always enjoy your enthusiasm, so it's great. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.